This is our agenda. So first thing this morning, I just want to give you a little bit of a report. I don't know if Dave or Kathy are in here with us yet. It was Kathy's birthday this week. But overall, according to the results, not just anecdotally, but to the results of the survey that most of you filled out, I appreciate that. Thank you. Sales in Hermosa were pretty great Fiesta weekend. Business was pretty great. And even some of you who had lower sales or didn't meet previous fiestas were still improved from at least prior weekends in the summer. So I know you probably would have had a bump on a 3-day weekend anyway, but hopefully, no negative effects from fiesta. So we have some stats I'm going to share with you. So we had 32 sponsorships. I'm very grateful. Many of you are in here. We're elated that we had sponsorships ranging from the big guys to very meaningful, smaller contributions that genuinely help close up the gap. The chamber in the end is not in the negative, so I'm grateful. We didn't quite make what I wanted to make on budget, but we made enough to keep me here, so that's good. And to keep us going with our future planned activities for the rest of the year. So, but by and large, my job is to serve and promote our local businesses. So I feel like it was a success if those of you who are open and participated had, a success. So I'm really proud of that. We had 63 participating businesses. I don't know what we usually have in the past for Fiesta. That's a lot. I'm probably going to say that's the most we've had. And because it was locale, we focused on making sure we got as many of you participating as possible. So I'm really grateful for that. We had 11 participating nonprofits. 20% in our survey to the respondents. This wasn't the survey that went to you, but of our respondents who attended Fiesta, we asked them to rate the amount of enjoyment, fun they had at Fiesta on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no fun at all, and 10 being the most fun they've ever had at a Fiesta. And 20% of respondents said 10, which I think is a pretty remarkable stat. The average is 7, but 10 at 20% was a big number I was pretty proud of. And 95% of respondents had attended a Fiesta in the past. We showed roughly that half attended the art festival, half shopped on Pier Plaza. I'll get a full report out to you guys. I'm just giving you some numbers here. Half ate at businesses outside of the garden, which was our intent to get business into our local restaurants. 61% enjoyed music, 52% enjoyed some drinks in the garden, and 10% watched the live stream. So we had about 1,200 people at the locale event on Friday night, 3,000 on Saturday, 22 on Sunday, and about 1,800 on Monday. So Saturday was our peak day. We didn't sell out, although there was a moment there where I thought we might because sales at the door were incredible. 51% of our overall ticket buyers were South Bay locals. So this is something for us to stay focused on. I know a lot of people didn't come into the garden who saw the modified format, but this was people who attended any part of Fiesta, and 51% of them were locals. So I'm pretty sure that's different from the past. Up till a week before the event, 85% of our ticket sales were to locals. But that last week we got a jump in non-locals. So that ended up with a 51%. We had 0 calls to emergency services, 0 calls to 911 or police assistance, which is pretty remarkable as well. And let's see, any other stats here? Approximately 500 bikes parked per day, a little less on Monday. And the lawn, there were 64 art vendors on the lawn. They had record-breaking weekend. In addition, as a consequence, the museum had record-breaking attendance every day. So that turned out pretty great. Of those of you that were surveyed, about 53% of you did better compared to Labor Day Fiesta 2019. 19% of you did about the same, and 29% of you did worse. So I'll again distribute these numbers, but I just wanted to give you some of this feedback that we learned from Fiesta. And then if anybody wants to, I'll stop sharing the agenda here. If anybody wants to talk about a little bit, we'll take a couple minutes post Fiesta. If anybody had any contributions to add there, or anybody who participated had any contributions they wanted to add. You guys are easy this morning. No problem. It feels like it was a month ago, which it was. So Steve, did you want to say something?
Yeah, hi, Jessica. We were going to look at our numbers to see how it compared to previous Fiestas. And, we just really haven't been checking numbers since COVID because things are so skewed that I thought it'd be completely meaningless. And so I'm curious how others were able to be confident about whether they did better or worse during this event based on really skewed business activities here in town.
I think that I don't know how they track it, and I don't want to speak for Lori, although she is on this call. I know that she simply tracked the previous year holiday sales, just a straight across comparison. I know they did double in their store. Oh, there she is. She's unmuting.
That hi.
Go for it.
I tracked it, Steve, by basically dollars taken in, but also the amount of transactions done. And we were double the dollars of Labor Day 2019, and about 35 or 40% more transactions, which means foot traffic was, way up and people were purchasing. So that's how I tracked it. And you're right. I mean, everything is crazy and willy-nilly in the last couple of years almost, but we're tracking, to 2019, not 2020, obviously.
Right. Awesome. I think some of the other stores were doing that as well. Carrie has reported some up sales. I think Soul Baby did better than they thought they would. I don't think they were up compared to a previous Fiesta, but they did better. I know Restaurant El Tarasco did better. Actually, they participated in the garden and they actually killed it in both locations. They did so well upper pier that they sold more upper pier. They had bigger days upper pier. So I feel like that is pretty, I heard a lot of that anecdotal, but we also had the survey results. And so I'll be circulating those so everybody can see. Again, not everybody did amazing, but a lot of 53%, roughly half of folks were up. So that's really good news. Let's move on, unless anybody else has anything they want to contribute about Fiesta. I will be putting out oh, Brian, go ahead.
Just quickly, I was at the information booth near the entrance to the Fiesta, and over a couple of days there, some people would come up and say, this is strange, this is weird, having to pay. And I explained to them basically that because of COVID-19, we had to limit the number of people coming in and control it. And if we couldn't do that, you wouldn't have any Fiesta at all. And the general reaction was, well, I'm glad we're having it. So that was the verbal reaction I got many times there at the information booth.
Awesome. So let's see here. So I'll move on the agenda. I lost it here. I wanted to do some introductions unless anybody else had any other comments. I'm going to do some introductions. So the chamber had some vacancies on our board this year due to some simple, there was a retirement and there was a, Courtney left the Hermosa Hotel. I think some of you don't know you're not muted, so I'm just muting people around. And so we filled those vacancies this summer. We previously got Javier and Anthony that I announced at a previous meeting, but I'd like to introduce to you. We have Solange Comer from Cultured Slice has joined the Chamber of Commerce board. Solange, I'll give you a second if you wanted to say anything.
For those of you that don't know who I am Solange Comer. I do own Cultured Slice Cheese Shop. I'm up on PCH. I'm between 2nd and 3rd. I've been there, it'll be 4 years on Friday. It's my 4-year anniversary. And still going strong. So excited to still be there. Happy to be part of the board. Just really loving the community. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Solange. And then we also added Laura McHugh, the controller for the Baja Sharkies group. Laura, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Hi, I'm Laura McHugh. I've been with Baja Sharkies for about 17 years, so I've been around a while. I am excited to be on the board of Hermosa. A couple comments about Fiesta. We were also up over Fiesta, which was awesome. And then just from friends that live in Hermosa, I had a lot of comments that they were just really happy with, they felt like it was just a better environment. A lot of them have kids. I have kids to bring their kids down to, and they really had a lot of positive things to say about liking it more than previous fiestas. So I thought it was awesome. You did an amazing job, Jessica.
Thank you. It was definitely not me. I appreciate that. Thank you, Laura. We did get a lot of positive comments that, more family friendly, easier to move about town. All of those we'll take into consideration as we continue to move out of the pandemic. This was a unique modified event, but we do want to take the good parts and try and incorporate them in the future. So that will be a continuing discussion with all of you. We had a postmortem with the businesses that participated. I forgot to mention that last week. If you were unable to attend, we will be circulating the results, the notes from that meeting, as well with the survey results. So everybody will have another chance to digest those and then think about it. And we were going to ask everybody to come back with what would be your ideal your ideal fiesta, I should say, because everybody has a different little different input. So it's a lot. So I appreciate everybody's patience while we try and sort through what we do going forward. But we want to move positively. I do want to announce to everybody, we have board elections coming up. That announcement will be coming out of the chamber. Look in your email. If you're interested in joining the board, you'll let us know. There's a nominations committee from our board and from our existing board that sorts through interested folks. We have some people in this room that I won't name out, but some of you are very eager to help the chamber really move forward in this next generation post-pandemic. We're doing a lot of marketing, a lot of promotion. Obviously, we did some staffing changes, but we have a lot on our plate. The commitment is, I think, roughly 5 hours a month is what our bylaws say. And some months I don't use that much of your time, but some months I do. And the board is meant to be, visionary and a guidance for, and essentially my bosses, for where the chamber goes and the direction we go in. And we're really looking for folks to attend that once a month meeting and then contribute and attend other events and really give back to this business community. So if you're interested, you can email me afterwards and I'll pass it on to the nominations committee. We'll be working through that in the next couple of weeks. And then everybody will be getting digital ballots. That'll be new, to vote for your board members. If you prefer paper ballots, we'll still do those as well, but you've got to ask for one because we're going green a little bit. We're going post-pandemic green, sort of a consequence. Any questions about the board or anything like that from anybody? Awesome. All right, I'll move forward. Safety report. I got some, there he is, while the chief shows his video and unmutes himself, I will give the floor to our chief of police, Paula Barron. Go for it.
Hey, Jessica, thank you. Good morning to everybody. I've been asked to just talk a little bit about what's going on safety wise. So I'm going to hit on a few things and happy to answer any questions after that. But we were never asked, at least I wasn't, on whether or not I enjoyed Fiesta. And I want to thank Jessica for being a great host. My wife and I came down there and we both enjoyed it and had a great time. And on a more practical note, the officers that worked that weekend all had very positive things to say, not just about the event, but the safety, the footprint, everything about it was just excellent. So the initial assessment we're getting is you hit on something that was long needed. So thank you for that. I just want to touch on some of the stuff going on with the police department and how we're working really hard to make sure the businesses are able to thrive. If you haven't heard, and some of what I'll talk about is a little bit of repeat on some report I gave to council 2 weeks ago, and then some new stuff as well. But in August, we had 5 new police recruits graduate from the police academy. That is the most we've ever had at one time. They are all still in training and doing great, and we're very excited for the fresh perspective they have and the training that they're bringing into the department. And all of our training officers out in the field are working hard with them, and you'll probably notice them out there. If you see a 2-officer car, likely it's a training car, so make sure you say hi to them. Our entire police department has been able to focus exclusively on crime and quality of life, which is something that we weren't able to do for the last year and a half. With the pandemic, we had a lot of other responsibilities that kept us busy with other things. So this has been a really good time for us, and we've been very productive in that sense. I just want to let everybody know what we're doing. And I'm sometimes we get a little frustrated as we see comments on social media as we post some of the things we're doing, and we see people say, well, it's about time, or finally you're doing your job. We're doing our job, and we're doing an excellent job. I think what happens is we don't do a good enough job, and the information isn't getting out there the way we need it to, of what we're doing. So I'm trying to take opportunities like this to share with everybody. And I would encourage each of you to share what I'm talking about with anybody else, so that people know that we're out there being very proactive. But between August 10th and September 14th, which is kind of the busy time of summer as it winds up, we were very proactive in addressing whatever was going on, whatever the community needs were. We made 108 arrests and issued 171 citations. That includes 19 arrests for DUI. Unfortunately, that's something that we're still seeing quite a bit of, and that was as of September 14th. And in the last couple of weeks since then, we've had even more DUI arrests. So we're continuing to work hard to curb that. One of the things that we're seeing that's very anecdotal at this point, but Uber is not as available as it used to. And as a result, we're seeing more people who don't have access to other ways to get a ride that are choosing to just drive themselves. We've made several arrests for drunken public, where people have fallen asleep behind the wheel of their car without starting the car, thankfully. So as businesses, especially those that work later in the evening, pay attention to that. And if there's anything that you're seeing, call us, because we are very proactive about making sure people do not drive if they've been drinking. Last weekend, we really focused on traffic related issues. Not that we aren't always focused on it, but we exclusively brought in additional resources to work on this, focusing on things like speeding, stop sign violations, e-bikes on the Strand, loud exhaust, and vehicles. Just on Saturday alone, officers made 45 stops. They issued 33 citations for everything from loud exhaust to loud stereo to bicycle violations on the Strand, speeding on the Strand, stop sign violations, and even unlicensed driver. That was just the folks that were brought in special to enforce it. Our patrol officers, who were also working over the weekend, issued an additional 13 citations for similar things. So we're really trying to make sure people are safe. And I know this is a big part of the business districts, where people are just riding bikes way too fast, skateboards way too fast, and we're trying to be a presence down there to keep everyone safe as they walk around and shop. I do want to touch just in the final on some trends we're seeing with businesses, and I'm happy to speak in more detail about this if anybody is concerned about anything. But recently we've had something that we call an Estes robbery, which is essentially a shoplifter who's trying to steal something, and an employee of the business intervenes and tries to take it back from him. And there's a fight or a struggle, which turns it into a robbery as opposed to a theft. And usually that is going to be charged as either a robbery or sometimes even a theft, depending on what the circumstances are. But we've had 3 of those, and in each of those cases, 3 of those in about the last 2 weeks. In each of those cases, it's a homeless person who's going into a business, and they're just grabbing stuff off the shelves, and the employees are trying to fight them and take the stuff back. We do not encourage that. Our officers are visible, they're out there. If something's happening, what I suggest is if you think somebody is suspicious in your business, to the best of your comfort level, give us a call ahead of time and let us get out there to address it. We don't want to ruin businesses and have you reporting people that could be potential customers, but anything we can do to be there quickly, we will absolutely help with that. But I would not recommend fighting somebody over merchandise. I would ask that you help by calling us and letting us help with that as well. We're also seeing a small trend of break-ins at night, windows being smashed. So we encourage surveillance cameras, surveillance systems, and make them visible, not just hidden cameras or cameras that aren't able to be seen. We want people to know that they're being watched. That's very helpful because it's a deterrent factor that people will realize, oh, that's not the business I want, and they'll just keep going. And since Hermosa is so small, we just hope they keep going to another city, or they get deterred altogether and just decide to give up a life of crime. But that doesn't happen too often, unfortunately. And then the other thing that I mentioned, and I'll just I mentioned it to council, but just so people know, we have seen a couple of crimes recently where people are coming into businesses and they are acting like customers, patrons, and they're stealing things, personal items that are left unattended, a purse or things behind the counter. In a couple of those cases, our officers, detectives in particular, have done a really good job of identifying the suspects and making arrests. In one case, the suspect who had stolen a customer's purse decided to reach out to the victim and demand money as ransom to give the purse back. So we ran a little undercover operation and were able to take that person into custody for stolen property. And in another one, they had stolen an item from the business, and through some really good surveillance video work that our officers uncovered, they were able to grab a license plate, track it back to a suspect. That suspect was on parole for stalking. And so this is something that they clearly do often. So we just ask that you're aware. Both of those suspects are in custody. So I think that they've understood where we're coming from, but it doesn't mean there's not more out there that are trying to victimize as you're doing everything you can to make a living and run a legitimate business. So that's just a quick rundown, and I'm happy to answer any questions either now or offline later. Jessica, back to you.
Thanks, Chief. Well, while I've got you, can you talk a little bit about the camera registration that we'd like folks to do?
Yeah, it's something that's on our website. You can go there and find all the information, but we would love to have you register your cameras with us. And really what that means is if you have surveillance cameras and you let us know you have them, it's just a resource for us when something happens and we need to go back and start tracking where somebody might have been and whether or not there's a camera available that might have captured that. So we do not monitor your cameras. We do not have access to them. We simply want to know where they are, so that if detectives are trying to figure out the path of a suspect, it's easier for them to just be able to know who to contact, and they can reach you and say, hey, can you check during this time and let us know if you see anything. So if you haven't done that, or if you're comfortable doing that, all the information is on the website. The form is there. You can fill it out. It will just log as something that we have access to, and then we'll reach out to you if we ever need it.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for the chief? Awesome. Appreciate that. That was very thorough, and we appreciate your time.
No problem. Thank you.
Oh, Laura, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just wanted to make an announcement that next Wednesday, October 6th at 9 a.m., you can have a coffee with a cop in the plaza. So for all the businesses, tell people if they have any questions, they're going to be there. It's their annual event. And I just wanted to make sure all the businesses knew.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Laura, your paycheck is coming for being our unofficial spokesperson. So thank you for always being awesome.
We have an economic development report that Christy's going to give. For those of you who don't know what that is, don't worry, she is going to give it. But quickly, before we jump into that, I just wanted to announce to you all, I mean to announce this every meeting and I forget to put it on the agenda. We have had a surge in new membership at the chamber. I'd like to believe that's because folks are seeing the true value, particularly in participation in events, but also promotion of local business and the building of community here in Hermosa. So I want to thank you. I see some of those new member faces in here who joined just in the last, I started in February. We've had 115. That's 115 new members since February. That's a pretty incredible number for a chamber. We are now exceeding, we're about to approach our highest membership year ever at the chamber. So I'm proud of that, but I care more about making sure that everybody really finds value in their membership. So remember, we have a new members orientation that we now do every other month, but if you're eager and you're a new member and want to see that, we have one previous one recorded that I can send you. But we are also have been meaning, it's just because I have no time, to send everybody basically an orientation of the new benefits. For those of you who've been longtime members, don't know all the benefits. We do a lot of promotion. We have promotional emails now, thanks to one of the benefits of selling tickets to Fiesta. We now have a 6,000 member email database. So we send out promotions at max once a week. We do some cool promotions and help to businesses. Anybody that emails us and say, hey, help us promote this, or what can we do together, we respond to that and we do that together with you. So I just want to remind you that that's all available, and you'll be getting information about that from me. So moving on to the economic development report, we'll do a quick one from Christy Teague. She is our liaison with the city. We are so grateful to have her. A wealth of information. If you've never dealt with Christy, I highly recommend asking her your questions if you have them. But still, some of you come to me, and that's fine. I mostly just pass them on to Christy. She's a wealth of knowledge and knows how to get answers. So Christy, the floor is yours.
So good morning, everybody. It's a good time to be in business in Hermosa Beach, and I'm so proud of the chamber. 115 new members, a lot of good synergy going on. In fact, tonight at the City Council, we're going to be talking about our one-year progress report with the Economic Development Committee. And if you haven't heard, the Economic Development Committee is made up of 2 City Council and 2 Planning Commission representatives, supported by an awesome group of business stakeholders that volunteered and applied and meet twice a month to inform the Economic Development Committee on topics. And what we're doing is we're working on economic development strategy that the Economic Development Committee will recommend to the City Council for adoption, which basically will ensure that we'll continue with our business assistance and economic development efforts into the future. So we're building step by step economic development to be more business friendly. I've been assigned as the business liaison, which just means if you don't know who to call at City Hall, that you can reach out to me, and you can reach me at my email, cteague@hermosabeach.gov or business@hermosabeach.gov. And I receive those emails, and sometimes I get emails over the weekend, and you know, everybody has their phone, and so sometimes it's easy to say, you know, yes, contact police department now, or community resources can answer that question at this number, or I'll get back to you on Monday after I check in with another staff member. So we're building step by step our business assistance and economic development. Some of the topics that we've been working on in the Economic Development Stakeholders Advisory Group are some recent topics include lighting, beautification, wayfinding, special events, arts and culture, and tourism. And out of those monthly discussions, we have 2 meetings a month. We come out with recommendations to be included in the economic development strategy. We're wrapping up our economic development strategy, and hopefully in October we'll kind of have our list of actions then November 1st, we're going to present that to the Economic Development Committee, and we'll be working on that November, probably December too, and hopefully we'll have our economic development strategy to be from the Economic Development Committee recommended to the City Council for adoption. So when the time comes, Jessica and I will remind you to help support that, because that basically is a plan, a part of city operations for business assistance and actions to help benefit the business community, which of course is part of the Hermosa Beach community that also serves our residents. So it's Chief LeBaron mentioned working on quality of life, and this definitely is quality of life issue. To have thriving businesses in the community supports city revenues and business revenues, and it also gives our residents lots of choices in the city. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, but that ends my official report.
Thank you, Christy. I appreciate it. I have a question for you. I know that I've been on the stakeholder group from the very beginning. I was eager, this was long before the chamber, to be involved in all of that. Is there a time where folks can ask to be a part of it? Will there be a refresher, renewal of membership of that? Do you know how that's going to work?
So we have added a couple of committee members along the way. When, for instance, when Margie Bennett from the Beach House left, Kara Marshall Bryan, who's on this call, joined in her place to represent the hospitality sector. And we added Bob Jones, who is the Economic Development Committee leader from the chamber, who also we're in contact with a lot on economic development topics. But we're kind of wrapping up our stakeholder work with the Economic Development Committee. And then once we get our adopted economic development strategy, we're going to be working on implementation of those actions. So I don't really see that, but the Economic Development Committee meetings are public, and we welcome all interactions. You can send e-comments, or you can speak, and or you can always reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Christy. I appreciate that feedback. So a lot of folks, I asked Christy to talk about this at today's meeting because sometimes I'll get questions from businesses that will ask, you know, I feel like the city hasn't done anything about commercial parking in a really long time. And I'm like, what? We've been working on it for months. How do you not know about that? And it's because we've been working on it in the Economic Development Committee and preparing it to be pushed forward with the city to move forward. Everything, you know, moves at a slower pace and has to go through a lot of process. And the stakeholder group has been at the ground floor of that, giving input on all of those items. And so a lot of businesses don't know that things are in the works. So we'll continue to report what the Economic Development Committee is doing at these meetings. But if you've been hoping that something changes in this city for a while, they're likely working on it, or the issue has been raised. Lighting, the, you know, focusing on other districts in the city, aviation. We've had a lot of conversations about beautification up and down aviation. You know, some challenging stuff that have been on the plate for the city for a long time have been in discussions with business owners at the table. And so that's been happening, and I just wanted everybody to know that. So Christy, thank you so much for your presentation. Laura, did you have a comment or a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to let the business community know during one of our last meetings, because I'm on the advisory group, is that we did a very important SWOT analysis. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's looking at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in our community. And I think that would be a good idea, Christy, I don't know where you fall on this, but to share some of that information, because I think some of our businesses here who aren't on the advisory committee could either add to that, clarify some things, because it would really be great if this was truly representative of our entire community. And so I think it'd be a good thing to share with our group at some point.
Certainly. If
And
that's
that
permissible,
is-
Christy, we can talk about that and we can figure out how to do that.
Oh, of course. It is attached. You can look at it if you want to look at the September 13th Economic Development Committee. It's an attachment to the agenda.
Okay.
And we did in our stakeholders group follow up on that initial and kind of voted on what were most important. And so that has been a good discussion. And out of that, it did kind of clarify some of our actions for our economic development strategy.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so we stick to these meetings. Anybody who's new and never been here, we stick to 1 hour solid. So I want to make sure we use the remaining time to talk about super focus of today, which is Hermosa for the holidays, which will be November 19th through the 21st. And I'm going to introduce, well, before I do, this year, we have decided to merge the open house weekend, the shopping weekend with some activities that we usually do, with tree lighting. And we've moved it all earlier, the weekend before Thanksgiving, to encourage shopping sooner, to encourage festivities in the community sooner. We are still not going to have our tree up before Manhattan Beach, which is fine, but it always felt like Manhattan Beach had their tree up for like a whole month before ours. So this sort of solves that that where's our tree question. We will be having some really cool features in Hermosa for the holidays, activities, music, some stuff that I'll let Kim reveal that's really exciting, as well as the sidewalk sale, which we have been working on figuring out the best way, because those of you that participate in sidewalk sales and put out a table or do something in front of your business, that all works great. But because we want to incorporate and include businesses that are not in the downtown area or who simply don't have a retail front, there are makers in town who have web businesses. We want them to be able to exhibit. So because of that, we've been trying out this method of putting them in front of other businesses. We're going to change it up again, just a little bit for Hermosa for the holidays, to try and we're really trying to master this so that we don't have to have street closures, but we can really boost business and shopping on these weekends. The tree lighting will happen Sunday night, but before I continue, I'm going to introduce Kim. There she is. Kim Ruggles Events has been working with the chamber and volunteering, which we're super grateful for, but not volunteering for the Hermosa for the holidays. She is our designated event producer to help make this all come together, and I'll let her share some of the exciting visuals with you. So Kim, the floor is yours.
Thank you. All right, I am going, where's the sharing option? It's not popping. Oh, there we go. All right, so the big focal point that we are going to start with is an ice rink. Now, this is a faux ice rink because we're planning to put it so close to the sand, not in the sand, obviously, but we are looking to put it across from Hennessy's Tavern. And that pretty much states, or at least would result in needing the synthetic ice rink. Real ice skates can be used on it. We are utilizing a company that will put it up. It will be installed on Friday, November 19th, with the intention of opening it up Friday late afternoon, early evening, and keeping it up through to Sunday night. The operating hours, Friday, 4 to 8, and then Saturday, Sunday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. It'll be a big draw. We feel that people will dine and want to go ice skating, or come to ice skate and dine. And then when people are dining, they eventually go shopping. So we find it'll be a big draw to bring people into town. The next area is a winter lodge. These are just visuals for you to kind of get an idea of what we're attempting to do, but it's going to be more adult themed. There will be alcoholic beverages. It will be a ticketed area, and we're going to have activities, some entertainment, food and beverage. It's right now tentatively scheduled to be in the outdoor area of Crafty Minds. We're going to put a tent up top and decor. And that will be Friday night and Saturday. It will close for Sunday. The next thing is what we've already discussed, to go in tandem with the normal open house. We're going to bring in some artisan purveyors, and we are looking to put them into the a parking lot similar to August sidewalk sale. Tentatively, we need approvals on all of that, as well as hopefully put some around the upper pier area, just to create a retail village pop-up that complements the current retail tenants. And that will be Saturday and Sunday, about, I think, 10 or 11 a.m. to about 5 p.m. And next thing are just these little activations that we're working on creating. One is a workshop tent. Hopefully we could do 2, and it'll be crafts for holiday decor, like making wreaths or decorating ornaments or dreidels, making gifts for kids. I don't know about any of you, but when I was a kid, I made some pretty, as I thought were amazing presents for my parents, painted ties for my father. I'm not sure if we would necessarily go with that, but there could be some really fun activities. And while doing this, it keeps people in downtown Hermosa, which therefore then they dine and they shop. 2 other activations, and they would actually swap out. The first one on Saturday, we'd love to do a letters to Santa, where kids can come down and write letters to Santa and put it in the bright red mailbox. And we're looking to put that down in Pier Plaza. But it's just a fun activity. And I found a stat that 20,000 letters are sent to Santa each year. As to where they go, I'm not certain, but that would be another big draw for kids to want to go down to Pier Plaza. And then on Sunday, we'd swap out that same location to do pictures with Santa. And well, we all know that's a big draw for families. And that would all be down with the nonprofit village that we normally have, and the tree lighting on Sunday, to all culminate to the tree lighting on Sunday. And then just some other ideas. We'd like to do a storytime tent. I think there's some retailers that could really get behind this, that would maybe dress in character or just be in character, telling stories to kids. We could create an area where they could sit and listen to an elf tell them a story, or it could be a Hanukkah story. It doesn't have to be all Christmas. And that would be Saturday only. And then just some other options are branded selfie stations around town that could stay the weekend. And this just another idea, a virtual contest, finding elf on a shelf. You could have it hidden throughout town, and kids have to search everywhere to find it, which makes their parents and their families go all over downtown, which is what we want. So far, any questions about these ideas? No?
I have a question.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering about so I see your date, so tree lighting would be on Sunday, November 21st. Do you know when they might be doing the menorah lighting, or if that's going to happen this year?
Yes, the menorah lighting's happening the first day of Hanukkah, I believe, and that's organized by the city, and that's in December. They were actually excited that we had moved a lot of the activities. I wouldn't say excited. They were okay with us moving the activities earlier because there's so many other fun activities happening in December. So the city will already be decorated, the tree will already be up. So this leaves room for those activities and doesn't interfere with other holiday activities.
And then just the only other thing that I would just say, like, although those things sound super fun, and just because I'm members of the Sister City Association and also the Women's Club, I think that you have a nice base of people who want to be involved and volunteer. And so both, I believe, I know Sister City is a member of the chamber. I don't know if, I assume Women's Club is.
Yeah.
I think that's a great place where you might get volunteers to staff some of these fun. Those are exactly the kind of things that our volunteers like to be involved with. So don't forget about us when you're recruiting volunteers. And just know that we might have a different way to like put it out there for our volunteers. So please consider us.
That's a really good feedback, Liz. Thank you for that. So noted.
We don't forget good volunteers.
Certainly don't. Kim, if you want to stop sharing, we can sort of globally take some questions. The reason that it's really important that everybody knows what's happening is, one, so that you know the date, but two, because we're about to put out a sign-up form to participate. So whether you're just a retail front and you just want to participate in you know, the sale element, again, I know it's not a sale, it's holiday shopping open house. I mean, you can have a sale if you want to. I just don't want to make that assumption. That's great. And you can use this form. If you're interested in sponsoring, I know we have a wide range of sponsorships. We have the big dollar sponsorships for the ice rink. Hey, if anybody really feels like you want to do that, by all means, we are here and ready for it. But we also offer opportunities to sponsor at smaller levels. That was demonstrated during Fiesta when a lot of our smaller businesses popped in and gave some good contributions. We're really grateful. Wicked, Baja Sharkies Group, American Junkie, Beach Cities Health District actually gave a bigger one. Patrick Malloy's gave a generous donation. Lighthouse, we're very grateful for all of those, and we have ways where we can showcase your business. So don't wait to the last minute to contribute to this effort. If that is in your plan, we certainly don't want to take profit dollars out of you, but if you'd like to, we can give exposure opportunities. We can also partner with some of these activities. For example, the wreath making, you know, I've envisioned Anthony Morrison at the Londoner Salon has been doing these amazing floral displays on our sidewalk sales. I'm assuming he's going to want to be a little bit of a part of that. So this survey is going to, the sign up form, it's going to ask you questions and encourage you to think about that. If your business model is, for example, coffee, if you sell coffee and you make some great beans, think about how we can incorporate that into this weekend. Maybe there's an activity where we can teach folks about coffee for the holidays, maybe even a spiked coffee event that we have at one of our local businesses. You know, we can think outside the box and do something really fun. And the Winter Lodge that Kim is really going to bring in all the furniture and decorate for that is going to be pretty remarkable too. And there's opportunities to really decorate in there for any of you that have home decor and stuff like that. Just think about what your business is and how you can participate in this. And that's where we really want to get those creative juices flowing, because those in-kind and participatory business opportunities are ways to get you exposure. And we can talk about, we can, you know, come to the story time tent from Curious, you know, and maybe it's all their books there, or, you know, think about things like that. I also am still aware that there's still a labor shortage. So for any folks that really want to participate, but genuinely don't have staff, let's get creative about it, because Liz just mentioned we have a bunch of amazing local nonprofit organizations who provide volunteers. And so we can coordinate that in advance and really help and assist with that. So definitely think about that. Go ahead, Liz.
I just had one other question. In the past with tree lighting, some of the nonprofits had been able to do like a little fundraiser. Women's Club sells hot chocolate. Sister City would like to do churro, like, you know, stuff. Kiwanis, I know. So are you guys, is that also?
We are.
Okay,
yep,
great.
we're doing the nonprofit village on Pier Plaza, which will line up leading up to the musical stage and the music and the tree lighting on Sunday night. So that will still happen. So the same form is where the nonprofits will sign up to participate, to have a booth. I think there's like a hot cocoa booth by Women's Club, and there's something else. And then we'll be collecting toys. I guess we could collect trees if we wanted to, but we'll be collecting toys for that nonprofit as well. Like all of that, there's opportunity there. We really want to be inclusive of every business model in town. So Jan, did you have a question? You're muted, Jan. So sorry.
Just a reminder that the Kiwanis Tree Lot opens Thanksgiving weekend, the week after. However, if you're talking about the wreaths, we do wreath making too, and we might be able to partner with supplies and so forth. And I think Mike Bell will be the person who runs our tree lot again. So we can maybe partner there.
That would be awesome. Thank you so much, Jan. That's great to know and great to remember, frankly, because we love that Kiwanis Tree Lot. Kim, what could I possibly be missing? Music and tree lighting and all of that is still happening Sunday night. We just shop, drink, eat, and then tree light on Sunday.
Yes. There are some other little ideas, such as the art around town that we're working to make happen. But get creative. There's a lot of things that could, like Brian Dunn, I had the thought that maybe tiles kids could decorate a tile as a craft. I mean, it could be little things that you have in your location that maybe you don't use anymore, or you are trying to get rid of it. We can try and figure out a way to use it. I like to repurpose as much as possible.
This is Hermosa after all. We like to upcycle and reuse and make crafts out of stuff. So why not? Laura, go ahead.
I was wondering, have you thought about having like a decorating contest amongst the businesses and we can do it as a block? I know that Lori always does an exceptional job with Gumtree, but if we did a decorating block contest, it could inspire other people. And when people come into town for this amazing event, they can see all the beautiful decorations.
We're definitely working on that, making sure there would be enough participants. We're also working on having a window artist. So we recently had Geraldine Poon, a lot of people know her as a local muralist, join the chamber, and she offers window paintings for the holidays or for anything else. We'll be distributing from the chamber all of that information so that you can get in to participate in that if you want to hire her to do it, or if you want some ideas. But we're also going to do probably a snowflake or something, a program where businesses can participate. She'll come for a small fee and she'll paint something in your window, and it's part of a scavenger hunt. People just need to come find window fronts. It's very COVID friendly and something exciting, and it takes people out of the downtown area. So for anybody that doesn't have a downtown business, this is really a great way to be able to participate in that. So I took the floor from Millie, who was going to talk about this form, and she just texted me to remind me that I stole all her thunder. So Millie, if you want to talk about the form, please go ahead, and how to participate.
Sorry, my internet connection is totally unstable, so if I freeze, sorry about that. Yes, you couldn't have said it better, Jess, but just one thing to know, if you've participated in the sidewalk or even Fiesta, I'm sure you're familiar with us asking for participation forms and proof of insurance and the Google form, all that stuff. So to eliminate or at least alleviate some of those email communications, the form is very extensive. So I just ask that you really read everything. And especially for the proof of insurance, we made the form, you're able to edit it after you submit it. So you can submit everything in there. The agreement is all in there, makes it very simple for everyone. There is, after submission, if you have any questions, you can obviously reach out to Jess, but I ask that you reach out to me because she already gets enough emails as it is. And I'm the one that's supposed to help organize these things. So yeah, that's all I have to really say.
Thanks, Millie. I appreciate it. She's at events@hbchamber.net. She sends out some emails. I think she sent the invite for today's meeting. So that's all the information. By all means, because of time, I'm going to say if you have questions, please email me later, or email Millie or Kim later. And we're happy to think through some of these things. We're in the process of trying to nail down a lot of our sponsorships and the commitments for use of space so that we can really solidify. We are closing part of Manhattan Avenue in front of Java Man, in front of Marlin Equity, the street closure there to do some of these activities. So it will feel festive in town. We're working with the city on finding out when they're doing their decorations, and then hopefully we can get some banners up, and things are really going to happen this year, guys. So I'm really excited about it. We're super thrilled. With that, please check out on the agenda. There was the announcement of upcoming events this weekend is the Hermosa Harmony Festival. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, please do. It's going to be amazing. You know, it's the silent headphone experience, but man, if you didn't see the schedule yet, you should check it out. A huge lineup of talent and bands, just amazing opportunities to walk around, see vendors, hear different music. We definitely support that effort. 2 to 9 on Saturday. Hermosa Beach is having its State of the City presented by Mayor Justin Massey on October 20th or 21st. We're not totally sold on the day yet, but pretty sure it's the 20th at 5 p.m. The Chamber co-hosts this event. I was already interviewed for it, so I was already bright red and embarrassed, but that's okay. Please save that date on your calendars. We'll be circulating it so you can watch the State of the City. The theme is Back to the Future, so we're excited about that. You'll see some graphics coming out for that. Hermosa for the holidays, we just talked about the 19th to the 21st. And then the New Year celebration, the Chamber does this, for those of you who didn't know. I didn't know for many years. We will be doing it again. So we have some planning to do. We don't want to be an events organization. We're advocates and promotion business as well for our local businesses. So thankfully, I've got Millie and Kim in the mix to start planning these things. Kim does the big stuff and Millie does the everyday, day-to-day. She's your contact. So please make sure you stay in touch with us. We want everybody to participate as much as possible. And it is 10 a.m. So I'm so grateful for everybody being here today. Thank you so much. You know how to find us, and we will see you next month on the 4th Tuesday at 9 a.m. Just put it in your calendar every month because these are helpful meetings. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.